Hi, I'm Em, an avid wargamer who runs social media accounts focused on promoting women in wargaming and creating inclusion-positive communities. As well as running women in wargaming events, I wanted to create a series focusing on the variety, creativity and skill of women in our hobby. So join me across this series as we explore the passion and joy women have for our hobby. Caitlin is an American hobbyist who specialises in painting miniatures and busts. Her work spans multiple game systems and has a vibrant, contrasting colour style. She also runs Colours Unleashed painting competitions on Instagram. Hi Caitlin, and welcome to your episode of the Women in Wargaming series. How are you today?
Hi, Em. I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm not too bad, thank you. Not too bad. It's just stopped finishing raining here in the UK, which is surprising, but it's always
Shocking. Rain
raining
in the UK. What?
Exactly. So let's get started and get into this. So how did you start your wargaming journey?
My partner was into it. We had a tiny house, so basically in the house we were in, it was just like his painting desk, and that was like all that was left in like for space in that room. There was no room for like anyone else in there because it was basically a glorified closet. So I just like he would show me things he would paint, and I'd be like, "Oh, that's cool." Like I could appreciate like what he was doing, but I didn't really think it was like for me at that point. And then we moved to like a bigger space, and he had a friend come over to play games, and I'm neurospicy, and like if I'm not in like the mental state to learn rules of a game, like I can't. So I couldn't that day. I was like, I recognized that like gaming wasn't going to happen for me, but they had models and paint out. So I was like, I can like chat and paint while you guys do that. Um, so I've been hooked ever since. Like I just haven't stopped. And I've picked up like a lot of different hobbies in my adult life. And they like I buy all the stuff for them, and like it lasts for like a couple months, and then it's like I forget about it. Like I have boxes in my yarn that have been in my basement since I've moved here 5 years ago that I haven't opened. So clearly like that's not a hobby I'm getting back into. Um, but like if I go a couple days without painting now, I'm like I feel it.
Yeah, I mean, I completely can understand your like breadth of hobbies. I mean, I've got like so much
Oh.
candle making and sewing stuff in my garage. It's not even funny. And I've got like a paint by numbers next door. So I think definitely being Eurospicy, but having that like breadth of hobbies is
Yeah.
definitely a prerequisite. But it's nice that you've felt that connection to painting. So yeah, so is that particularly the area that you are drawn to, that sort of element of the hobby, painting mostly?
Yeah, so I do mostly painting. Again, like gaming and like learning rules, I have to be like, I don't know, it's like well rested, well hydrated. Like if I'm gonna learn a game, like it needs to be like peak optimal conditions, which don't happen a lot. So I don't do a ton of gaming. It happens sporadically. But I also feel like I have no motivation to play a game if the minis are not painted first.
Yeah.
Um, and then I also can't paint like minis in a row, so I skip around from like Star Wars, Warhammer, like Chibis, I don't know, just random D&D models. So that also prevents me from actually getting minis from a game finished because it just takes years to even do like a kill team. I don't know. It's
That
not
kind of
great.
that kind of leads me nicely into my next question because I was going to ask which gaming systems you're sort of attracted to, and from the sounds of it, it's just everything that you like to
Yeah,
paint.
it's more like what am I not attracted to? I think. Um,
I've seen that you've
yeah.
done some Marvel recently. They were really, really pretty.
I've done both Marvel systems. So I've done Marvel Protocol and Marvel United, and I love them both. I have a lot of Shatterpoint stuff that I keep collecting boxes of Shatterpoint, but I've still never played it. Like I just hope I like it when I eventually get there. Um,
Nice display pieces, if not, you know.
yeah, I know I'm gonna need like a old lady like china cabinet at some point to store all this stuff.
I mean, you can see my semi old lady china cabinet with my Lego
Yeah,
in
but that
behind
looks
me. So
modern. Like that looks great.
Yeah, but I do like the classic, like really dark, heavy wood that's like a stained walnut and has like the frilly back to it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like overly ornate, I
Yeah.
think is what I mean.
If I had my way, I think my house would look like an 80-year-old woman lived in it, but my husband is very like into the Scandinavian neutrals kind of
Oh,
Japan-y style. So our house is
those are very
very
different.
like, yes, they're very, very different vibes. So I have like what we refer to as my goblin cave, which is what I'm sat in now. Like it's very like cozy and there's a lot of shit in here. And then the rest of the house is very minimal. So yeah, just literally, I'm just surrounded by all my nerdy stuff. So yes.
I love that.
Anyway, this is your episode, so I digress from talking about MySpace. But what influences your art style the most? Obviously, you paint from all sorts of different genres, and I've seen
Yeah.
your artwork. It's incredible. I'll link your socials below for everyone. But honestly, you've got such a range of art styles. So where does your influence come from?
I mean, there's parts of my style that aren't really in my control. Like that's just how I paint. So I have familiar tremors, so my hands just always shake. So if you ever see me painting, I don't post like painting videos or anything very often. I have like one, I think, but I grip the shit out of my handle and I'm also like killing the paintbrush at the same time. So it's a lot of like forced stippling that's like happening. So I feel like it ends up looking like a little impressionistic, which like I've had people say that about my art style, and I'm like, yeah, let's say we're going for that. Like that sounds better than what I'm saying in my head it is.
Yeah, that,
So I know I'm never gonna be like the most fine, detailed, like refined painter in the world. Like it's always gonna be a bit haphazard, but like I'm trying to make that work as best as I can.
I think the happy accidents are always the best
Yes.
accidents, though.
Yes. It's
Definitely.
fun when I can like I'm trying oh my god, like lines are hell for me. So I paint a lot of like organic looking things. So like animals or trees or something like those you can get away with being messy, I feel like.
Yeah.
More than like the edge highlighting on like a space marine. Like I think that would actually drive me nuts.
I mean, have you seen how badly my older edge highlighted? Like my tremor as well does not allow for that. So yeah, that's why I don't post any of my models either. So I completely get like the trying to do the edge highlighting with any sort of tremor is a pain in the arse, isn't it? So
Yeah, so it's like if it happens correctly, it's like holy shit, like I get real excited about it. So maybe that's also why painting has stuck because it's just like a huge dopamine drop every once in a while.
no, I get that. And it's like you're the same as me with your like long-term conditions and things like that. Like when you complete something that overrides everything that is expected of you, it's just a nice buzz, isn't it? So like if I
Yeah.
manage to stand for a tournament all day, that gives me such a buzz without like collapsing on the floor. So
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I
yeah,
hear you. I got a cane after a convention I went to,
yeah. It
which made
definitely
me feel like I aged 60 years. She's like, awesome.
but
Followed her in.
embrace the like old lady lifestyle. If we're going for an old lady china cabinet, let's go for an old lady
Yeah,
cane as
I
well.
think the full thing. I even the cane I got has like its floral print because I was like, I can't just go like plain aluminum
Yeah.
like cane. It needs to be a little like jazzed. I don't know.
Exactly. Bedazzle
Mm,
it. Chuck loads of glitter and rhinestones on it. Like,
yeah. I mean, that bedazzled art was one of my hobbies.
yeah. I
I
think
think I have some leftover.
I was going to say, I think any woman our age has definitely done the bedazzled hobby for a while. That's for
It's
sure.
just like an aging millennial need, I think.
Exactly. Exactly. The need to self cocoon and just bedazzle something is definitely strong in our generation.
Hmm.
So, how do you decide on your color palette? Because obviously you have such a range of models that you paint with. Is there anything that you particularly
Yeah.
lean to?
As far as color palette go, I feel like I try to try everything. Like, um, I gravitate more towards like bright colors, I think naturally, but like I have plenty of grimdark pieces that I've painted too, and I've taught a grimdark class. So it's something that like I feel comfortable with, even though I like my obnoxious like teals and purples and yellows. And I kind of set like painting challenges for myself. So there are some colors that like are obviously harder to paint with than others. So I had like a few weeks or like a month where I was like, this is my yellow period. Like I am going to get yellow down. So I would just like paint models using like a lot of yellows, or um I try to do that with like white as well. Just like I'm gonna get white down. I'm gonna get comfortable with painting white. So yeah, I don't try to like stick to any one thing. And I really love finding like unexpected color combos that work together. Um, so I try out things that are like across the color wheel from each other. So I had an orc that I did where he's like I based him in like a teal, and then I mixed teal and orange to like build up his highlights, and it came out like green somehow
Yeah.
still. And so that was just like a fun experiment. So then I ended up doing that same color scheme on like a few other things. And now I'm like, oh, I think I want to do that same thing, but maybe with purple and orange and see what that does. And
That would be really cool. Really,
yeah,
really
so
cool.
it's just like playing. I don't know. Like that's what it feels like to me when I'm like mixing my wet palette. It's just like I'm playing a game. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I think for me with my autism, I sit in like a really strict boundary with my colours. So I like just take the colour off the shelf and very rarely mix it. But that kind of attitude towards like just see what poses on the colour wheel, like that's really fascinating. I should give that a go at some point. I'll definitely
Yeah, so I don't know. I have a war in my brain all the time because it's like autism and ADHD going on at the same time. Um, but I actually like I really struggle to put paint directly from a bottle onto the model. Like I always feel like there needs to be some mixing involved because then it feels like, okay, this is now my unique color.
yeah.
Like I don't I don't know. It just makes it feel more interesting to me. I went to school for art for a semester. And then I was like, I gave in to all the people saying like, "Oh, you're going to be a starving artist." And I was like, "I like food. I don't want to be a starving artist." But my teacher that I had, she was like this Russian drill sergeant. Like she was so intense, but she was like, "You do not put paint on a canvas until you've mixed it with 5 different colors." Because she was like, it just makes it more dynamic and all this stuff. So I don't do the 5 like she was telling me, but I still feel the need like, oh, I have to mix this a little bit, like make it different than just how it comes out of the bottle before I can put it on my model.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes
It's
sense.
just drilled in there.
It's the other end of the worm that was paying attention that day.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's like there's like the Russian accent like telling me I must like mix.
That's
Uh,
so funny. Great. Now when I'm painting my moonstone next week, I'm just gonna have a Russian accent in my brain going.
you should. Yeah, it's motivating.
That's so funny. Um, so you touched on the fact that you sort of self-challenge yourself to painting
Yeah.
challenges, but I know that you do like quite a lot of public ones as well that
hmm
I've been interested in. So like, what's your favorite one that you've ever sort of put out into the sphere of like the challenges that you get other people to do, like the theme and
So
stuff?
like my painting competitions that like I'm running or ones that
Yeah,
I've like participated in.
either doesn't matter.
Okay. So as far as like running competitions, it still feels very new to me. Like I'm still kind of like figuring that out. So I did like one competition as a co-host with Short Circuit Hobbies. And that was interesting because there was as a co-host, like there was parts of it that was my responsibility, and then other parts that like I was totally hands off of and like it wasn't my role. And now I'm trying to do all the pieces and kind of get that experience. So we did it once and we did it was like pride theme.
Yeah.
So I thought that went pretty well. I was like, if we get like one entry, I'm gonna be stoked because I was like, I just didn't know what to expect as far as like participation. But we had a good number of entries, and the way we've been doing it, we've been trying to like bring spotlight to different nonprofits.
Mm,
So that one, we gave money to the winner's charity of choice that was like LGBTQ related. And the one we're running now is paranormal paint. So it's like Halloween related. And since this is like back to school time for at least us in the United States or the Northern Hemisphere. We wanted it to go to a education related charity. So I spotlighted the one I happen to work for. So it's a nonprofit that teaches under-resourced girls woodworking skills. It builds confidence because you feel like a badass using power tools and building something, and especially since it's something that like girls are told you can't do necessarily. It's just such like a male stereotyped activity. I mean, kind of like gaming, I guess, too. um, but it also gives them like job skills to kind of get themselves out of that cycle of poverty at the same time. So it's something I'm just super passionate about. So I'm excited that like I get to share a little bit about that with the competition that's going on now. Um, so maybe that's what I'm most excited about. I don't know.
I love that that's what you do for work. Like, that's my favorite fact about you. I'm always like,
I mean, it really is the most interesting thing about me, I think.
it's not. It's not. There's so many beautiful aspects to your personality. Like, whenever I'm speaking to you, my husband's like, "Who are you talking to?" And I'm like, "Caitlin." And he's like, "Oh, your friend that teaches woodwork." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh, I love that's what I'm known for. That's so awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'm an engineer by background, so obviously that's like my favorite thing is when there's other women in male dominated spaces. That always brings me joy. So,
Yeah, and I'm trying to get the girls to see connections between like building with woodworking to like engineering.
yeah,
'Cause I'm like, there's like design in here, like, and they're like, "Can you make money being an engineer?" I'm like, "Girl, like, stop. Of course you can." But
it's
they're like, "We
perfect.
just think this is fun." Like,
No, you can definitely make a career out of it. 100%.
yeah.
That's exactly what I did. So, yes. If you could only paint one more model in your lifetime, what would that model be?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. So I have a tree lord that I put together, and I went like it was a day where like I was home and both kids were out of the house, so it's like I never have that much ability to focus because it's like there's always something going on around me. So I went crazy on his base, like absolutely nuts. It's like this layered thing. I actually like made a bunny nest out of wire and sticks. So he has like a little bunny sleeping in a nest under his
Oh,
feet. So I'm like, I need to paint that at some point. I don't know when that will happen, but if it's like gun to my head, you only can paint one more thing, I think that would probably be it.
yeah. I think, like, particularly when something's got such a beautiful base. So I ended up with 3 Wraith Knights gifted to me, and one of them's got this incredible Tyranid base. And you know me, I hate painting with a passion. It's not my vibe at all. But every time I look at that base, I'm like, "Oh, I just want to get the Wraith Knight on it and posed." So I can completely understand where you're coming from, where that's like your motivation. Maybe you should save it for like another child-free day or start
I
like it could be
know.
your like child-free day project, your special tree. So
So I'm actually planning on going to Adepticon for the first time ever.
as in like
So
in 2026,
yeah.
I
So I
might
have
I
the
might
hotel
be
room
going to
like
that.
booked
So
already. Like it's happening. I've never gone. And I have some people that have been bugging me, like, you just need to put something in Golden Demon, like just put it in a case, like who gives a crap what
yeah,
it does? Um, so I might, if I
I
have
think you
time.
should. I think you 100% should. You should definitely do it. And I might be going to Adepticon as well. So
No.
yeah, so if I do, I definitely want to see that in the case in person. So
Okay, yeah, if you go, I will definitely. Like for sure. Like
just make it
that will
happen.
be my motivator.
Yeah, yeah. Em's flown halfway across the world to see my little bunny in the nest. So
Yeah, I'll definitely tell myself that it's just for me. Yeah. Just me and my tree lord and my little bunnies.
exactly, exactly. So moving on. So what other avenues has your hobby opened up for you? I mean, obviously you do your own painting and stuff like that, but you've talked a bit about like the competitions you run and the competitions that you take part in. What
Mhm.
else has this hobby sort of opened up for you?
Um, yeah, I actually had someone contact me about going and teaching at a convention, and
That's
I was like,
incredible.
"This is a scam." Like, this isn't real. So then I actually looked into it. I was like, shit, that's actually a real convention. And um I went and they paid for my flight, they paid for my hotel room, like the full ticket, like for a whole weekend. So I was there like Thursday to Monday or something. And I only had to teach for like 4 hours maybe. So that was just awesome. And like it's I am a teacher by trade. So it's just really cool to like merge like my professional life with like my hobby. And I don't know, just seeing people like get excited about painting, like, because the convention I went to is MomoCon in Atlanta, and it's primarily like anime focused. It's not like a miniature painting convention by any means. So a lot of the people there, they're painting for their very first time ever. Um, and just seeing people like get excited about what they're doing and what they're making, like it makes me excited too. I'm like, yeah, awesome. Like, like they get ideas even that first time painting that I'm like, that's awesome. Like I painted, I taught a class, it was grim dark and it was like a zombie shark and someone made it like neon green. So it was like radioactive zombie shark. And I was like, that's freaking
That's
fantastic. Like I would
really
have never
good.
thought of doing it that way. And the great part is that some of my students from those classes, like we're still in touch online, like over Instagram. So I just think that's really cool too. Um, yeah, I love meeting people in the hobby. I think that's one of the most rewarding aspects of this. Where I live, there really isn't a hobby community, and I have never met another woman in my area that does like hobbying stuff. It's like exclusively nerdy men. So to be able to connect with people online is really, really exciting for me. Another thing that totally happened randomly was this guy reached out to me wanting to come to my house and film me for like he creates these short videos about different hobbies and he picks like one person to represent a whole hobby. So he has like a yo-yoing video. He has like a hacky sack guy, like, and he was like, "Oh, I want you to be my miniature painter." And I was like, "Do you not know that there's other miniature painters in the world? Like you could ask so many people." And then I'm like, "Also, if you're traveling to these places, like there's much more interesting places than here, like for you to travel to." I was like, there's a lot of mini painting happening in the UK, right? Like, why here?" Um, but yeah, he came here and it was fun. Like it just like was amazing that I'm like, someone wants to hear my story. Like it's wackadoodle to me because I'm like, I live in a town with 5,000 people in the middle of the woods. So it's like these are all doors that I never expected to open when it's just like I was painting while my husband was gaming. Like it's just like I didn't anticipate it going anywhere. Like so it's wild. It's all wild to me.
I actually think that video was one of the first times I was aware of you. Um, because like
I was
quite a
totally
few
under before that video.
I didn't mean it that way. I meant like because obviously the Instagram community is huge. It's massive, so it's hard
It
to
is, yeah.
know everyone.
Hmm.
It was more the fact that so many people were sharing it, and I watched it and I was like, I like this lady. I like this lady. She's like my vibe, she's a similar
I
age to
appreciate
me,
that.
and she just like sits at home and talks so passionately about her hobby and the painting and what it means to her. And I was like, that's me, but playing. So I was like, I really like this lady, and that's how. Yeah, I remember watching that, and I'm pretty sure that's how I then found your account. But
I mean, I love that we're friends now, so
I
that's
so do I.
fantastic. I
I
should
think we
send a
speak.
note thanking that guy, like, "Thanks again for filming me."
Yeah, I think we speak most days, which is lovely to me because it's wild to me, sort of picking on your earlier point about the online community. You and I live halfway around the world from one another.
Oh, yeah.
That's just insane. And like I'm familiar with your part of the world because of like where I've traveled to and been quite privileged with that. But like face to face, we have never met one another and we've never had like a, not yet, exactly. And we've not had that like face to face friendship, but I feel like we know each other so well now because of the things that we discuss
Mhm.
and stuff like that. And it's just beautiful that that's like my experience as well. particularly with like the women of the hobby, which leads me quite nicely on to like my next question, which is how do you find the levels of support from other women in the community?
Yeah. I feel like I try to be a cheerleader
You
myself.
definitely
Like
are.
I
You
try, like I
definitely
make an effort. Like I just I don't know, because I think so many of us are just like sitting alone and painting in our basement that it's like I think mental health struggles are so prevalent in our hobby because there's a lot of just lonely people. So I try to connect and kind of cheer on where I can. Um, I think sometimes like you don't always get that back. though.
Yeah.
And I actually taught, okay, this is really weird. I taught a class that was feminism and geek culture. And there was a concept of the female exemplar. So it's the idea that if you have a team, there can only be one woman. So like if you look at like the first Avengers movie, like it was just Black Widow. Like there
Yeah.
wasn't any other woman there. So these kind of messages to women tell us that like there's only space for one of us at the top.
Yeah.
So I think like women just naturally compete against each other and I'm trying to be very conscious of that and not do that. Or if I like recognize that like I'm comparing my work to another woman's, be like, why the fuck am I doing that? Like, sorry, I don't know if I'm supposed to.
You're allowed to swear, don't worry. We're like 90% of the way through the episode, and I think we've sworn 80 million times between us, so don't worry.
Oh, I did try to correct myself earlier instead of saying one thing. I said a lesser swear in my
It's all
head.
right. Every episode's got swearing, so I'm going to pop a swearing
Okay,
warning
cool.
on, so don't you worry.
But yeah, I just like I try to stop it when I see it happening in myself.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just wonder sometimes in my head, like, oh, is that why it can be harder to get feedback from some other women? I don't know.
Yeah, I think I completely get where you're coming from with that. I think you and I have a very similar mentality of like, let's build other women up. Let's build a good base for women to feel put like on top of one another's shoulders, like build women up. I think
Hmm.
that like a lot of our community at times can be very negative towards women. So
Yeah.
I I think some of it is a competition aspect, but I think some of it is just culturally some sects of our community are fundamentally sexist and misogynistic, and that thing
Hmm.
creates a mentality that that's how you should behave towards other women as well as a woman. And that's extremely toxic. But I think once you start calling it out and being like, no, why are you speaking to me that way? It should, like, women's mentality suddenly does switch and they go, oh shit, I've been stuck in this like downward spiral of
Hmm.
thinking that I have to compete with other women to be like the woman of Warhammer or the woman of painting marble or the woman of my brain's gone blank. I can't remember other game systems, but yes, you get the
Right.
point, you know. And and it's funny just the way that culturally, certain in Western cultures, we're almost taught to, as you said, compete with one another. Whereas actually, teamwork makes the dream work, and the louder that we shout about one another, the better. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I totally agree with that.
and that leads me on my last question. So you'll be
Okay.
pleased your interrogation is almost over, but if there is one piece, if there's one thing that you could pass on to other women in our hobby, whether that be a skill or a piece of advice, what would that be?
Um, I think just like the growth isn't linear. I think there's like sometimes pressure as a painter that you have to be consistently like putting out pieces that just are getting better and better and better, and you have to keep showing this growth. And um, you don't like if you want to paint something in just like an hour just to get it done and on the tabletop, like that's fantastic. Like we're not like to strive for like I don't know competition pieces every time you paint. Like it's just not realistic. Um, and just don't compare yourself to like other people's journeys. Like there's people that have been painting for like 5 times longer than me, or like there's some people that started painting yesterday that are better me, and it's just like that doesn't really matter. Like, just compare your work to your work, and like if you're happy with what you're doing and it's fun for you, like that's all it needs to be. I don't know.
100%. 100%. I mean, like, I completely agree that growth isn't linear. I think my side of it is obviously slightly different coming from the playing aspect. We're like two sides of the coin in the hobby, aren't we? Where like I hate painting but love playing, and you're like ambivalent towards playing but love painting. So it's the same. Like some games go really well and you have a lot of learning from it and you take that learning and take it forward. But other games, someone like sideswipes you and you're like, oh shit, where the fuck did that come from? Am I not as good as I thought I was at this? And where's this come from? And then you sort of go back to square one, and then it's like, okay, what can I learn from that? Okay, let's carry on. It's like snakes and ladders, isn't it? Or shoots and
Yeah.
ladders, as you guys call it. But yeah. But no, thank you so much for coming on
Yeah.
episode.
Thanks for having me.
That's all right. But yes, I will link your socials down below for anyone viewing. Are there any shout outs that you want to give just before we close?
Any shout outs? Elder Jester Minis, I guess, would be one of my top shout outs. Bang Hang, if that's how I say it. I just think he's like almost like an underappreciated account that I feel like I've been like trying to put out there for like a while, like a year or so, just because like I'm such a fan of his work that I'm like everyone should be a fan of his work. Persian Paints is a good friend of mine. He's really fantastic painter. Yeah, there's just so many, honestly, to shout out. Like,
Yeah, it is hard, but yeah,
yeah,
that's a good selection for people to go and look into. But yes, thank you so much, and
thank you,
yes, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. So, yeah,
thank you, you too.
thanks. Bye.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Women in Wargaming series, and thank you to all of my guests who have appeared this series. If you've enjoyed what you've watched, please consider liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel and following me on Instagram at ElderExarch.